Rocky Mountain Construction is one of the world's most well-known and one of the world's best coaster manufacturers. And I have been lucky enough to have ridden 7 of their awesome RMCs all around the US. And today I am going to be ranking every single RMC that I've ridden. And this list was pretty hard to put together actually, just because of how good all of these rides are. But without further ado, let's hop straight into the list. Coming in at number 7 is Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. This coaster is one of the original RMC Raptor roller coasters and has some of the best pacing I've ever seen from any roller coaster on the entire planet. This thing flies through its layout. This thing is full of airtime and wonderful elements and inversions. The only downside of this roller coaster is the restraints. They really dig into your shoulders, and that is pretty painful when coming out of your seat for some of the airtime moments. And the track work was kind of getting shaky. I know they're doing massive repairs to this ride, so maybe it would rise up on this list. Who knows? But what I do know is that coming in at number 6 is Iron Rattler. That's right. Fiesta Texas has 2 RMCs, and both of them contrast each other very well, but I think Iron Rattler is overall the better ride. It has a much better first drop than Wonder Woman does, and the elements pop a lot more on Iron Rattler than Wonder Woman. The dive off the quarry wall is a very, very good element, but I honestly think it is overrated, and I think the first drop is the best part of Iron Rattler. Now, I know that's very, very debatable, but the first drop is really, really, really good, and it twists you to the side and gives some nasty ejector, and the restraints are very comfortable, so you can experience the sharp RMC airtime without feeling uncomfortable because of the restraints, which is why I love Iron Rattler so much. If Iron Rattler was just a little bit longer, I feel like it could have made it higher on this list. But with that being said, Lightning Rod will take the number 5 spot. This is Dollywood's launched RMC roller coaster. Well, technically it's not launched anymore, but when I rode this roller coaster, it was launched, and this coaster was very, very fun. But honestly, I was underwhelmed by Lightning Rod on my first go. I wasn't really impressed by the layout. The quad down was fun, but the last airtime hill before the half loop didn't really pop for me the first time around. But when I got some night rides on this thing, especially the one night ride that I got in the front row, it was an unbelievable experience. All the elements were popping a lot more and giving much better airtime, and the ride just seemed to be running a lot faster, and that ride alone put it in front of Iron Rattler. I don't know how this ride will run after the lift hill change, but honestly, Lightning Rod was just a great memory, and it will forever hold a place in my heart for being that random roller coaster that had a ridiculous night ride. In front of Lightning Rod is Kentucky Kingdom's one and only Storm Chaser. Do not judge this ride by its height, because holy crap, this has to be the most aggressive, or if not the most aggressive, the second most aggressive RMC I've ridden. This thing is a beast. Even though this ride only stands at a whopping height of 100 feet, this thing kicks butt from start to finish with 2 inversions, a barrel roll down drop, and a corked roll, and multiple straight up just killer ejector airtime hills. And you cannot forget about the trick track double up. This one is much more intense than the one on Twisted Timbers, and this thing gave me bruises after, and in a good way. This roller coaster is very aggressive and just an overall fantastic attraction. Coming in at number 3, we have Storm Chaser's younger brother, and this is Twisted Timbers. Both this ride and Storm Chaser share many things in common, but Twisted Timbers is the overall longer experience, and it has a larger quantity of elements, which is why I put it ahead of Storm Chaser. The best elements of Twisted Timbers are the triple camelbacks and the trick track double up. While the trick track double up isn't as intense as the one on Storm Chaser, the triple camelbacks are like the Storm Chaser airtime hills, but 3 of them in a row. And if you've ridden Storm Chaser, you know how powerful those airtime hills are. Twisted Timbers has a lot of elements packed in. I'm pretty sure this thing has, 20 airtime moments? And this ride only stands at a height of 105 feet, so it really packs as much of it as it can into its small height. I was blown away by Twisted Timbers when I visited Kings Dominion, and I ended up lapping this thing all day since I-305 was closed all day. Coming in at number 2 is Wildcat's Revenge. This is the only roller coaster on this list to open in 2023, and I have had the chance to ride this ride Well, let's just say many times. My home park is Hershey Park, so I'm trying not to be biased here, but this reminded me a lot of Storm Chaser in the way that it whips you around in its elements, and it has some very powerful airtime, as well as a lot of variety. I feel like the problem with the older RMC roller coasters is that there are a lot of repetitive elements, Steel Vengeance, but other than that, this ride has a lot of variety, and I feel like that is what puts it up so high on this list. It has a good mixture of airtime and inversions and laterals, and pretty much every force you can think of. The zero-G stall is surprisingly well executed with the amount of speed you are going through the element and with how short the zero-G stall is. The wave turns are by far the most impressive and underrated parts of the ride, especially the tall first one. I was very surprised about the first time. The second one is also very good. The lateral double down is very surprising as well. It whips you to the side while giving you ejector airtime. And the other two zero-G rolls are really good, especially in the front row. You get a lot of snap. Now, one thing about Wildcat's Revenge is that the last bunny hills on this coaster are very intense. So if you don't like really intense airtime, I would not recommend this ride for you because the finale can be a little much for some people. Coming in at number 1 is the king of repetitiveness, but it's also the king of the RMCs that I've ridden. And of course, I'm talking about Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. This monster of an RMC opened up in 2018 as the tallest, fastest, and longest RMC and overall hybrid coaster ever built. And this thing has some of the best airtime moments of all time, including my favorite airtime moment, the large outer bank turn, which is the third element of the ride. I really love Steel Vengeance because it packs so much into its very long layout, and it just lasts for ages. I mean, this thing is 2 rides in one. It is a high off the ground airtime machine in the first half, and then a low to the ground airtime machine in the second half. It really feels like 2 different rides. When you ride this ride, you know what I mean. But one downside to Steel Vengeance is the fact that it is a little bit repetitive with the airtime moments and the overbank turns and inversions over and over and over. But the airtime moments are so good that I honestly can't really complain about it. I don't know if there will ever be a roller coaster that I ride that dethrones Steel Vengeance. This was the first RMC I ever rode, and the ones that I've ridden after have come nowhere close to the level of Steel Vengeance. I need to get on some of the upper tier RMCs, such as Zadra or Iron Gwazi, to know for sure, but Steel Vengeance will hold a place in my heart forever, and it is my number 1 favorite RMC that I've ever ridden. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my rankings of the RMCs that I've ridden. I hope to get on a lot more soon, especially some of the better RMC roller coasters, but you know, you never know what will happen, especially as a teenage kid. You don't know what theme parks you'll end up going to, whether it's on a family vacation or just as a present or something like that. So I cannot wait to see what future RMCs I will get to ride. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.